let's get started here. Looks like we got our video up and running, and let's get going. Alright, so I have these tasks here, and I need to the thing I'm going to want to do today is design out our agent chat interface. So currently the only way to interact with all of these tasks and issues currently is to use the user interface. So the problem that I'm facing right now is that I need to be able to do things within our platform, within our application, without having to manually do it. So what I'm gonna do from this point here is I want to actually build out that interface. So I want to just be able to chat with our agent that can control and work with anything within our application. So you can see right here that I have these tasks, I have this list of tasks, and what I'm trying to do at this point is I have all these kind of stray tasks that I've been adding in just to test out the functionality of adding tasks. So what I want to do at this point is just allow myself to just say, hey, I would like to remove this, or hey, let's keep all the non-test tasks in our list still, but I want to remove everything else. So starting from here, I would like to start out with that user interface. So let's get started with that. So the first thing is going to be building out that chat window. So I have Cloud Code open here, and I'm going to say we are going to want to add a chat interface on all pages within our dashboard. Think of a chat bubble on the bottom right of the page that opens up like a chat window, a chat bubble that opens a chat window. It should be kind of like a customer support style widget, so something that would sit in the bottom of a page. So I'm looking at right here, on the bottom right of this page here. I don't know if you can see my cursor. Probably not, but it's going to be in the bottom right of this page, and I would like a little bubble icon or maybe our logo or something on the bottom right that would then allow it to be opened with just a click or something. So I would like our user to be able to chat with their existing page, the current page that they're on. So it should be on the bottom right that opens a chat window. The user will be able to chat with the ongoing AI agent that has understanding of what page the user is currently working on. Yeah, so let's keep it with that. Let's keep it with that ShadCN UI style design. Yeah, let's just see where that gets us. And then while that's working, I want to also add in the ability for the agent to actually perform actions throughout the application. So I want them to be able to say, I would like the agent to be able to say what tools do I have available. We have our MCP server available, so what can I do, what can I accomplish on the ongoing AI task area, and what can I do on behalf of the user and the instructions that they've given me. So I'm looking at it here, and I have the task of give our agent skills and tools. So I'm just going to start with that. Oh, actually I need to answer these questions first. So This says recommendations. Let's add a chat window in a layout.tsx. Yes. Chat window on all pages. Sounds right. And then bottom right trigger button using ShadCN's sheet side equals right as the chat panel with a small page context provider that each page populates, route plus the entity being viewed, example task / issue / ID. So the agent knows what you're looking at. Streaming chat will need a real route handler. Two things I decide before I build: model and scope of page awareness, just the URL, or should the agent also get the entity's current data, title, description, status, comments passed in as context on each message. Model and scope of page awareness. Model and scope. Let's start with passing in some context. We definitely need the ID. The ID and the like the data model and the data model that we are viewing. For a single item, I think that the full context would be helpful. And then for the agent actions, yes, they will need to have full tool use as well. For tasks and issues. All right, so this is actually a roll up of the first two things that we're going to be working on today. So building the chat window and giving our agent the skills and the tools. So the next thing I'm going to be looking at is allowing the agent to do basic work on our tasks and issues. So that's actually all three. So let me just add in actually now the logo. So we have the logo for our company, ongoing AI. We need to update it on the heading of our sidebar / like top nav area. So the logo is like logo dot does it have it here? Let's just pull it out of here. Oh, it's actually in the wrong directory, it looks like. So let me just close out of here, pull this out. So I need to move into my tasks and then run Claude again. So I was able to roll up all three of these things entirely. So I have, it's asking for the Anthropic API key. I actually have it, but it's called, I think it's Claude API key in my env local. So we also have OpenAI API key as well, just in case. As a fallback for now. So that'll also help it. So, okay, we're in the correct directory here on this Claude agent, and I'm gonna make this a little bit more evenly spaced. So what I wanted to do here is I wanted to actually update our logo. So with our logo.png, I would like to update our sidebar header logo. So that should pull that in automatically. And then we can see where we are currently. So we don't see the chat widget coming in yet, and we don't have the logo coming in. And I believe this should auto refresh. So yeah, we're still waiting on that to run fully. Okay, there's our new logo. And then I also want to use our logo for our fav icon. This will allow us, let's replace the default XJS fav icon. Okay, so we have two agents currently working. This one's going through and building out our new chat interface and the new chat functionality that the agent will need, like the new capabilities that our agent's going to need to actually perform tasks on behalf of our users. Also, this one has now replaced our fav icon in our header, so you can see on the tab, you can see that our fav icon is there now. So that looks pretty good. This is actually like super fast. I'm gonna wipe out the tasks that I had planned out for the day in like 10 minutes at this pace. But still waiting for that chat interface to pop up. So in the meantime, I think the next thing would be to add some small tweaks here. So we have this subsection for the navigation on the sidebar that is like opening and closing, so we can see tasks all pending and progress completed. That's working pretty nicely. And then on here I'm seeing that as well, but as you can see, when I navigate to like all issues, that the whole sidebar section is collapsing. When I click on all, when I click on any of these like sub navigation items, I'm seeing the whole thing collapse. However, that doesn't exist here when I click around on the task. I would expect that to also either perform the same way, but ideally what I would like is if I open this, it should stay open no matter what page I click on here, and unless I close this. And then I'd also like to know which sub navigation item I'm looking at currently. So if I click on pending, I'd like to see a highlighted indication on pending. So I'm just going to tell that to Claude. Let's clear out our chat that's around our logo. So let's just clear this out, get some fresh context. And I would like to also tell it about that navigation update I wanted to make. So when clicking the issues on the sidebar, let's minimize this and minimize that. So when clicking the issues on the sidebar, I can see the sub navigation items appearing. However, when I click on one of them, I do not, the menu closes entirely. This is just on the issues section on the sidebar. Also, when I click on a sub navigation item under tasks, I would like to see which of the sub nav filters I'm currently looking at. Examples are all, pending, in progress, etc. Same thing for the issues filters. I want an indicator for which filter I'm currently viewing. Alright, so let's take a look here. So this is our chat interface that we're building out right now. Let's take a look and see how that turned out. I'm gonna minimize, so I'll shrink this down a bit. Okay, that's cool. So, hi, I'm ongoing AI. Let's give it a test here. How many tasks do I have open currently? Let's see if that works. So here's a tool calls that it's making, and then it says we have 8 open tasks, 5 in to do, and 3 in progress. So let's take a look here. So we have how many are completed, I guess, is really what I want to ask. How many completed tasks do we have? So we have 9 completed tasks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that does look correct. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's correct. And then for in progress. Oh, so one thing that I'm seeing right away is that my chat history, I would expect to see the chat history for the agent. If I chat and I send a chat message to the agent, what is currently happening is that the whole history is disappearing. So what I want to do is actually show my previous history. So what you'll see in like in ChatGPT, for example, is that you'll see the chat history appearing on the sidebar. So maybe I'm thinking something like that. Like I could see the chat appearing here, and I can see what we've done within ongoing AI, or also another way, like for more of like a customer support interface, we're looking at maybe clicking on the chat bubble here, and then I would possibly expect to see the chat here. So that's our 2 options that we have available. So either here on the sidebar or here in the sheet, and then another option would be here on the sidebar. So the sidebar or the sheet. And I'm thinking I'd like for Claude to actually decide for me. So once this is completed, I'm going to wait for this to fully complete, and then I'm going to commit this. We have our task here. So we have a couple changes that are pending. All right, so this is coming along pretty nicely. I think now what I'm going to do is I will add this update our chat window task. So we have the chat window. So our agent does have skills and tools. The agent can currently list the work or list the tasks and potentially the issues. I don't know that yet. But what I would like for it to do is like do status manipulation. So what we'll do here is the scroll area. So we have chat specific context, and then we have close this. So the system prompt embeds the route when an entity is registered, the full JSON of the task issue with its comments, so the agent can ask you what's this answer, what's do, or close this, what's this do, I guess. 2 follow-ups worth flagging. Scroll area relies on ref on the root, but the scroll view is nested. Okay, let's commit these changes for the chat widget. And then let's also do another commit here. Let's create a new commit for the logo stuff we have done. Alright, so back here, while that commits, let's open up another agent actually. Let's try like this here. I'd like them all in one area. Can I do? Alright, forget it. We'll just put it there. So we'll have 3, one on top of the other. So inside of tasks, I'm gonna see what we have here. So this is our project. Okay. Let's start a new Claude as well, a new Claude Code agent. And what I want to do now is let's have it work on specifically. Okay, let's actually test this first. Looks like there is an issue with the sidebar changes. So this is appearing when clicking between the task subsection on the sidebar and the issues subsection. Okay, that appears better now. Looks pretty good. Okay. It's still working, so that's why that bug appeared. So these are the filters here. So pending, in progress, completed. So we're seeing that in the URL. So this is something that someone could directly link to. And then also our issues. So we can see the open issues, the closed issues. Okay. Cool. That's looking pretty good. And then we don't have ideas or settings enabled yet. I think we'll leave that for now. Let's keep working on our chat interface for the moment. So there's a couple usability issues that I'm considering here. I think for me, the one thing that is popping out is that chat history. So I would just like to be able to see like at least our like a single thread of our chat, so that every time I open it, it's not starting off with a fresh context. So let's start off with that. When I chat with our chat agent using our new chat interface, I do see it calling tools and skills correctly, which is awesome. But when I close and reopen it, I'm seeing an entirely fresh chat history. So nothing from the past is available. We need to make sure that our chat history is preserved. Okay. So if I just go to our issues again, I'm going to click through our issues. Alright, so these are existing issues, and I should be able to add a task here. Actually, this is a closed issue. So I go here. Okay. Let's try deleting a few of these example issues. And then test drop into the new table. Okay, so that's just the UI thing we were working on. So none of these are actually valid. So animation test, task assignment UX, actually that's a real one. So we can delete these safely. Yeah, delete issue and 3 other tasks. Oops. Cool. So I would like, actually, when I delete or bulk delete issues, I would like a Sonar or a toast to appear and show me a success message. Or at least some feedback. You know what I'm thinking would be kind of fun is like actually having this update in OBS. So thinking about actually adding this in as an OBS plugin. So we should be able to see it like appearing directly on the stream while I add in new issues and stuff. So let's see how to create an OBS extension or plugin. Let's see how we can do this. So you would build C++ libraries or Python Lua for scripting. I think I could actually do a Python Lua plugin. That'd be kind of cool. That's an idea. Let me just add this in as a potential idea. Oh, I don't have ideas enabled yet. Actually, cool. Let's just do that while we're here. So we have a placeholder for ideas. Let's add some capability there. Capability there. I would like to be able to throw in a few ideas. So these will be just things that kind of pop into my head that I can then, jot down, not worry about having to remember or like writing down somewhere. I could just throw these into the ideas on the sidebar, and then that'll have its own like dedicated ideas section so that we can just refer back to that whenever we're like, thinking about what next to work on or like what issues to create. So we'll have this just a general like backlog of ideas. So single delete, issue deleted, bulk delete, deleted end issues. So let's add a new issue real quick. This will be a test issue for deletion. So let's go back to all the issues and then test issue for deletion. Let's add that in. Let's delete it. Permanently delete. Okay, so we have deleted one issue. And then if I add two new issues, let's do test issue number 1. And then let's do test issue number 2. So I can bulk delete these. I'd like to just delete the 2 of these. And then, cool, that works. So bulk deletion will now provide feedback, and then single issue deletion now provides feedback. So I would like to then commit these changes and see what else we have pending here as well. So we have some of the sidebar changes that we made, and then like some of the chat widget stuff that we were working on as well that's still pending. So I would like to also create let's create commits for all of our pending changes. Try to keep them organized. And this will allow me to just kind of like have a fresh slate. So while the other agents are working, I can just clear out that backlog of commits. And let's see here. I was waiting for that to complete. And then here's our ideas. Our ideas thing should be ready now. Our ideas capability. Say, I was thinking about creating an OBS plugin so while I stream, I can create a list of tasks that appear on the string. You have access to the ideas data. All right, so we're gonna need to add that in as well into our agent. So can you also give our chat agent capabilities to do to work with our ideas data. So the agent should be able to do basic work on tasks and issues. Let's see where we are currently with our Git history. Okay, cool. So we're all caught up. So what capabilities does our agent have for tasks and issues currently? Okay. Let's store the capabilities list in a capabilities.md file in our docs directory. Alright, let's take a look at what our capabilities are here. So this is a list of all of our capabilities that we currently have with the tools that are related to issues, ideas, and tasks. It looks like we actually made quite a bit of progress on our tools capabilities for the agents. So no tools exist for listing, editing, or deleting comments. No bulk mutations. The issues UI has bulk status delete, but the agent must loop in one at a time. No text search across descriptions or titles. Filters or status, parent only IDs. No pagination cursor or offset, only limit. And no helper append to an idea body. Update idea replaces the full text. Okay, let's start with one of these actually. This is actually kind of a great list. So let's start with listing, editing, deleting comments. Okay, let's see where we are here. So let's clean up our Git history, make relevant commits. Okay, let's work on the first task. Comments is a great comments. Okay, so now we're cleaning up our Git history, and then we're also building out the ability for the agent to edit, delete, and list comments on tasks and issues. So I'm going to go through this list and make sure that all of these are completed. Actually, I could just probably feed in all of the remaining 4 so I don't have to do it one by one. Let's also do the other 4 items as well. Then when you're done, let's update the capabilities doc. So those are the, why is it only 3 lines? Should be 4. Huh, okay. So it has all 4. Wait. Okay. Okay, so it's updating the capabilities based on like what's actually being performed already. So it's already updating the doc. And then if I go here, I should be able to see it update, but that's fine if it doesn't. I think we've updated the logo. Let's fix our to-do list. Update our agent logo. Update our logo. Allow the agent to do basic work on tasks and issues. Give our agent skills and tools, and then build a chat window for the ongoing AI agent. Hit OK. All right. So what's going on here? Let's see. So we have added the bulk tools, the search tools, and the idea append tool. Let's insert them next. Okay, so it's working there. And then I think the next step here is going to be, oops. Let's clear this out. And let's clear the top one out. And then let's also check up on our agent. So this wasn't saving when I would close it before. Also, I'm seeing that there is like some formatting that isn't being displayed in the output from the agent. So this is markdown formatting, and I'd like to be able to show like bold. I'd like to be able to show, I think it's just using bold actually. So let me take this and then let me paste that in here. So I would like our agent in the chat window to show our, to render its output using, with context about, with understanding, I guess, with markdown formatting. So I'd like our agent in the chat window to render its output using markdown. And then our capabilities list is updated. And then looks like we've gone through and have added in all of the missing tool calls that were missing, all the suggested tools and skills. So it looks like we have a fully capable agent now that can chat with any part of our application. So if we go into here and I could refresh this, I'm expecting to be able to see our chat history. Okay, so it's working on the markdown, so that's breaking our chat. Let's take a look over here. So there's no settings yet. There's no there are issues. There are ideas now. And if I go into each of these, I'm expecting to see these highlighted correctly, and I'm seeing that. So it looks pretty nice. I am thinking that I would like to test if it can potentially just bulk modify the task while I'm just watching it, or while I have the page open. So I'd like to see these get modified and updated while the page is open. So let's ask our agent here if it'll do that. And we're seeing now that it does have the chat history, so that was nice. It was able to retain our chat history. Before, it was disappearing when I would open and close it. So I think the next thing I'd like to do is just see if these to-dos can get changed to in progress. So let's make all of our existing to-dos tasks that are, I'd like to make them all in progress. Let's see how that works. And then we are seeing the blurring effect here, so it may not be immediately apparent, but it looks like the 3 to-do tasks were moved to in progress. So I'm going to see if this will work when I click out. Yep, so that worked perfectly. It did a bulk edit there, and I was able to change all of these in progress ones, or all of the ones that were marked as to do, to in progress. And then if I go back and try it again, the inverse. Now let's make all of our in progress tasks set to do. All of our in progress tasks, set them to do. Cool. It looks like it did it. Yep. So now I can mark these as done. Add due dates, that's done. Add a task priority field. Do we have this? I'm not seeing a prioritization field yet. I'm not sure if we're going to keep that. And then when we add a new task and are on a filtered view that completed, we should see the newly added task appear. I'm not sure about that one either. We do need testing capabilities, so I am going to have our Claude Code do that for me right now. So what I want to see is, I would like to, first of all, let's make sure our commits are all cleared up. All of our pending changes are, okay, so this is all related to the markdown stuff. So let's first test our markdown. Let's see if that renders correctly. I see the ideas thing here, so that is rendering correctly. I do want a little bit of a clearer color differentiation. So that is something, maybe it's minor, but I would like to see that. So for inline code, like inline comments like this, I would like a different color scheme, not just dark. Maybe a colored badge, potentially. Maybe like an orange thing, maybe an orange tint. The font's a little too red there for me. Too red for me. It's a little too red. Okay, the font's just too dark is what it is, I think. The font should be brighter. The font color should be brighter. Yeah, it's looking a little bit better. The ideas page, something you can read directly. Do you have ideas access now? Yes, I do have access to ideas. Scratchpad now, list, create, search, update, and delete. Sure, okay, so this is broken here. Looks like the chat is falling off the bottom of the page. Yeah, so there's no scrolling on the chat in the sheet. There's no scrolling on the chat in the sheet. I would like the chat input for the user to be fixed at the bottom of the sheet area. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe I would also like an image uploader as well. So I have been, uh, as you can see, I use image screenshots constantly when I'm talking to my chat agent. So maybe I could just have this actually get added into here as well. So let's take a look. So I would also like an image uploader available. I think the agent should be able to like read the image, should be able to read the image and like extract text from it. Because this is something I'm doing like on a pretty regular basis. I'm constantly like screenshotting and dropping it into something like that, but I think I would like to be able to do that as well here. So when I have like if I see something, I'd like to be able to drop it into my agent, then have the agent turn it into like relevant issues. So ideally I could be like, hey, these are the issues I'm experiencing. Let me drop it into my agent. It'll recognize it, and then it could understand what I'm trying to do automatically based off of like the memory that it has of our previous conversations. So that's actually something else I need to talk to the agent about. So I would like to ensure that the agent is retaining important memory bits, more important memories, and creates a knowledge map over time from our conversations. So this will be like the beginning of like the agent context. So as I work with it, I would like it to learn and improve the more that I use it. I don't want to have to like always like give it the full context every time that I talk to it. I think this is part of a larger like memory that the agent will need to develop. Ideally, it's gonna get the knowledge dynamically, but then I think it will also need to have that memory like manually entered in by the user as well. So the user will need to be able to add documents as well, I think. But for now, we just have the issues, the tasks, and like our idea board. So for our idea board, it is pretty basic right now. I could generate, I guess, ideas about the idea board. I would like settings. I'm wondering what settings I would need access to right now. Maybe like a daily update, or actually it's kind of cool. So like the agent could become like a proactive agent that is acting like on our behalf, like automatically. So I'm not having to like manually come in here and like perform tasks even with text or anything. It should ideally be proactive and like performing some of these tasks. I am going to need to add in more integrations. So I'm thinking one of the things that I see often is like bug reports from Sentry. So maybe Sentry would be like a nice integration to have in the future. So when I get a bug report from Sentry, I would like to have the Sentry bug context automatically added in as a bug. We should add in webhooks that can receive data from Sentry. Also, we do need to actually add in tasks as well, but let's see here. Okay, so we should have the image upload working now. So if I upload an image, let's try this one. What do you see here? It's working. That's awesome. And that's still here in our history. That's cool. I wonder if let me go to Unsplash and get a couple images. Let's generate a couple images here. So, and then maybe one more here. And then let's try this here. So my downloads. I wonder if I could just drop them in. No. So I would like to be able to drop directly into the chat from our Finder. So drop zone, I think. Something else that's more modern. I would like to also delete these images from the history. Wait, it lost the context? When I refreshed the page, the image in the history disappeared. don't want files for the memory. We are going to want this in RDB directly. Think about how this is going to be used by many different users. Yeah, I don't have any auth built in yet. The auth plan, for auth, I'm planning on building out a backend, probably in Laravel or something like that. I'm thinking that this is going to be an SPA that, or not SPA, this is going to be a dashboard that connects to the Laravel API and uses JWT tokens for authenticating requests between the backend API and the dashboard. Image persistence. So image persistence is going to need to be, we don't want images in our database, so we don't want images in our DB. This should be a file uploaded ideally to an S3 bucket, but since this looks like I might be moving into the authentication space now, so I might need to build out our backend for this. So now I'm getting into the database authentication issues, and then I'm also needing to do some file storage as well. So let me take a look at this. I think what I'm going to do is just start, I'm going to clear this out. Let's look at the auth direction, TS native, okay. Not locked in, worth a sanity check. The rest of your stack is TypeScript and staying in language. Next.js, even Next.js route handlers with a real DB. Avoids a polyglot repo, that's smart. Shared type duplication and 2 deploy pipelines. Laravel's a fine choice if you want it, already know it. Just make sure you're picking it for a reason, not defaulting. Okay. This is smart. This is really smart. The chat agent is the hard part. Right now, Agent Tools calls this Drizzle directly. Once Laravel owns the data, every tool becomes an authenticated HTTP call. And the agent route has to forward. Memory shape on the Laravel side when you get there. Let's say existing familiarity. And I like how queues work. Okay. It's generally best in class. We're flagging that queues are a great match for memory work specifically. Generating embedding, summarization, and memory consolidation. Okay, so we are going to need to build out the API now. So what would this look like if we only used a TypeScript solution? What are the pros and cons? What's the pros and cons? While that's working, I'm going to just commit the pending changes into relevant commits. So we're making progress today. I think with the image uploader, let's try uploading bulk images now and dragging and dropping. All right, so that's actually cool. So that's new. When I grab these 3 images and drag them in, it does say drag image to attach. And then you can see the 3 images there in a queue. So tell me what you can about these images. And if I refresh the page, I would expect to see these images as well. Yeah, they are still storing now they should be stored actually in our file storage. I don't know if I told it to do that. I'm also going to want an MCP server, and I want to have an API, and I want MDX style docs to get used for auto doc generation.